Now are we live? Ooh. We actually live now? Are we? Are we? Yes, sir. Ooh. We actually live now? Are we? Are we? All right. Yes, sir. Welcome, guys. Ooh. We actually live now? Are we? Are we? All right. We're cooking. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Got people joining. Let's go. Dropping all the sauce right here. Hold on, chat. If any of you, I'm gonna wait for more people to join. We're just starting the live right now. If any of you have some questions, make sure to drop them down below. And today I'm gonna be talking about the exact workout split I follow, and exactly why you need to do it to get the best results possible. And what it is push, pull, legs, upper, lower. So total, it is a 5-day training split. This is what we got going on here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Best workout split. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So it is going to be 5-day training split. Push, pull, legs. Because you need to have the rest days. You need to be able to recover. And let me just mention where I was at before I followed a training split. Before I followed a training split, I was fat. I was skinny fat. I was bench pressing, training upper body every single day because I thought that's what you had to do to get results. I only cared about training upper body, so I never trained legs. Didn't have any sort of type of plan. I did one day was chest. Another day was back. Or I didn't even train back. It was chest, shoulders, and biceps. 3 days a week. That's all it was. Hang on a minute. You look good in the picture on the left, though. I do, but you can always be better. You can always be thinner and look better. And when you drop down in body fat, you look better because you get leaner. When you focus on the right muscle groups at the right frequency, you build lean mass, you recover properly. Everything is dialed in. So that's why I created this 5-day training split. It's push, pull, legs, rest, upper, lower, rest. This is what, actually is, it has more variety because here's the thing. I've been doing push, pull, legs for a very long time and I got bored. Lol, did you add in the Patrick Bateman quote? Absolutely. That Patrick Bateman quote is facts. He's not wrong. You can always be thinner, look better, be more aesthetic. You can never be satisfied and complacent. And so with this weekly layout that we got going on here, it is going to be, let's see if I have anything in the chat. Okay. So it is going to be push day 1, chest, shoulders, triceps. We've got the bench press starting out, of course, because the bench press is the main movement, the main compound movement where you're going to get all of your gains. If you're not bench pressing, you're missing out. Weight and height. So right now I am 6'1". I don't know why I said it right now. I've been 6'1" for after puberty. I'm 6'1", 185, and the difference was 30 pounds. But the difference didn't change in my workout split. The only thing that changed was the cardio and the nutrition. But for the workout split, that is where we did day 1 was push day, day 2 pull day, day 3 leg day, quads, hamstring, glutes. So that's going to be squats, split squats. Now then there's a rest day because after legs you're going to be cooked. You are going to be very, very cooked. After 3 days in a row, that's a lot of training. That's a lot on your central nervous system. So I find taking a rest day after legs feels amazing. Appreciate the fall, Langdon Evans. What's the best workout for legs? That is what depends. Because you can have 2 goals. You can have strength goals and you can have hypertrophy muscle goals, muscle building goals. So if you're looking for overall strength and athleticism, that's going to be coming down to the squat, right? Squatting, barbell back squatting is going to be ideal. What else? Split squats, again, because you have to use so much balance and coordination to do a single arm leg split, Bulgarian split squat. But if you want to really grow your quads, you're going to want more machine. So that's going to be something like the hack squat. Hack squat is going to be more ideal. How many miles should someone do for their cardio? I wouldn't focus on miles. I would focus on the zone 2. I would focus on your heart rate. I would focus on how long you're doing it for. Like the intensity of the cardio and the length of the cardio. So yeah, like the time I normally do about 15 or 30 minutes, but my heart rate, zone 2, 120 to 140 beats per minute is ideal for burning fat and not killing your gains. You can figure that out. All it is 220 minus your age, I believe, to find the ideal heart rate. How can I lose fat and build muscle? It's a combination of finding the ideal training workout split, which is what I'm dropping right here. And guys, make sure to check out the YouTube video if you want more detailed content. I'm also live streaming on YouTube at the same time. So can you grow glutes in the hack squat? You won't quite as much. Yes, that is true. If your feet are higher up, you're going to be targeting more of your glutes. But when you're doing the hack squat, you want to grow your quads. That's really what it's meant for. So I would recommend putting your feet lower on the hack squat and then going down and then getting that full range of motion, knees over toes. When your quads, or when you can go so low, your knees goes over your toes, you're gonna be activating a lot more quads, which is ideal. No half reps. You want to get the full range of motion if you can, to grow as much as possible. What did you do for acne when you were bulking? Single ingredient foods is going to be key. Now, I had a shit ton of acne. If you go to my YouTube channel and click the most recent video, there's multiple pictures of me with acne, and I looked like I was terrible. It was so bad. I had to hop on Accutane for me to really actually fix myself. That was the main thing. And clearing up my diet, having more single ingredient foods, less whey protein. Whey protein, I think, gave me some acne. What does your ab workout look like? Yeah, I didn't even put abs here on this list, but abs, I typically like to train abs right after legs, because that way, well, leg days, I normally typically do less exercises, but I want to do abs right after. That's where I have a little bit more time sometimes. Or I'll do abs on the rest day, but the ab workout I would do is normally hanging leg raises and decline crunches. You want to train your abs like every single other muscle, just like your bicep. You want to train it, 2 or 3 times a week, still having some rest time for it to recover and grow. Unless you're training your abs for a different reason, for, being an athlete. Boxers, they train their abs every single day. But if you're looking to just grow the muscle, you don't have to train it every single day. You can train it with weight. You can train it, and actually sculpt the muscle. But if you want to reveal your abs, that's going to come down, to your nutrition. And then finally, we've got the rest day. So on the rest day, that's where I would go for a walk, maybe stretching, some light cardio too. Recently, I've been doing some biking, adding in bike rides, just because most people probably don't do enough zone 2 cardio. People do a lot of cardio on the treadmill, and they don't do enough weightlifting, I would say, actually, that. And sometimes it's inconsistent. Sometimes people do enough cardio, but they don't get enough steps in. Ideally, you should be getting 10K steps every single day for multiple different health reasons. Actually, 10K is just a fancy number. That's why it's a trend to say 10K. The real health benefits come around, I believe, 8K steps. But if you're doing that, you're resting, you're recovering, you're training with high frequency. That means hitting each muscle group at least twice per week. Built-in recovery, not going back to back, because that's not optimal. Like if you're training your chest every single day, which is what I did when I first started, you're not going to be giving your chest enough time for it to fully recover. You want to have at least, depending on the muscle group, but ideally 42 hours for it to recover. Hey, appreciate Robbie, appreciate it sharing the live. Appreciate the support. Boys, yeah, and if any of you guys are finding value right now, make sure to share the live, drop a follow, check out the YouTube, or if you have more questions, DM me on Instagram. That is the best way to DM me, and I can send a nutrition guide as well. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you want to make sure that you're recovering properly. So you want to have 2 days in between, ideally 42 hours. I'm built like your before picture. Did you cut or bulk? It's such an awkward stage. Absolutely. The worst stage is right when you start the cut. You know why? Because you're fat and you're flat. The glycogen is depleting out because you're gonna start having less carbs when you start your cut. And you're still fat because you just started. So the hardest part of the cut, I would say this, you probably look the worst right when you start a cut. But then that's where it only gets better. You're still being a little mini awkward stage, but then towards the end of your cut, you can look insane. And then you start waking up looking leaner each day. That's where cutting becomes fun. But everything else about cutting sucks ass, right? Because most of the time you're more hungry, and that's not fun. Being hungry sucks. Having extra cravings for sugar, that sucks. And there's ways to manage that. Fasting can help. Intermittent fasting. Yep. I personally did not do it. But if that works for you, that works for you. Now, if you're talking about fasting, like not eating at all, for multiple days, terrible. Wouldn't recommend that because of your muscle mass. You need to have muscle protein synthesis. You ideally, the more meals the better. If you have a pre-workout meal, post-workout meal, you're actually like fueling your workouts. That is going to be the best way to get, as much muscle growth as possible. But if you're not eating for multiple days, sure, you'll lose weight. But do you want to just lose weight, or do you want to lose fat? If you want to lose fat, then you need to be weightlifting. You need to be eating high protein every single day. I'm down 11 pounds first month. Definitely feel better. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, being leaner feels better. You're less bloated. Your confidence is higher. There's a lot of benefits you can get. One meal a day, is it effective? It can work for some people. It can work for some people. I don't recommend it because I don't really think it's not sustainable. If it's sustainable for your lifestyle, then do it. If it's not sustainable for your lifestyle, then don't do it. Because you got to think about it. You got to think about the long-term results. A lot of people, they're only thinking short-term. How can I get a six-pack in 30 days, 60 days? No, 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 no. You got to think about how to get a six-pack for the rest of your life and maintain it. So if you can't do one meal a day for the rest of your life, then probably shouldn't do one meal a day. But if it works within your routine, go for it. That's why I don't recommend keto, carnivore, any of these things, because most people can't commit to that year round. And the whole point is to learn how to do it year round. I've done these diets before, chicken, rice, broccoli diet. You lose the weight, but you gain it right back because it's not sustainable. You want a sustainable plan. What do you do for core? I do hanging leg raises and decline crunches. And that's why I built this workout split, because it's sustainable. It works 5 days a week. You could even do 3 days a week if you need to. Some people, yeah, because they burn themselves out. They'll do 7 days a week, 2 hours of cardio a day, weightlifting every day. You burn yourself out. You can't commit to it long term. It's all about committing to it long term. That's how I've been able to go to the gym for 5 years, because I made it fun. I made it about progressing. Decline crunches, absolutely love them. With weight, yeah, those are good ones for sure. Want to build your abs with weight. Everybody wants to get the six pack. It's so funny. But here's the thing, guys. The six pack, of course, training them is going to help a ton, but they're really going to be revealed through your diet and your nutrition. And if you figure out your calorie deficit, how many calories you should be eating, that is going to be the real way to get a six pack, from lowering your body fat over time. 4, what's your main goal? Are you focused on cutting or bulking right now? I'm assuming cutting if you're looking for a core. Appreciate the fall, Bray. You're down 40 pounds in 2 months? Holy shit. How did you do that? You locked in. That's insane. How are you able to pull that off? You must have been on a ridiculous diet. The diet that I was on was chicken and mustard. Chicken and mustard. That was my diet for a while. Chicken and heartbreak. You're right, bro. That's super underrated. Nobody talks about that. No, actually, a lot of people talk about that. Guys, if you want to get jacked insanely fast, get cheated on. Watch your girl get gangbanged and then get cheated on and then hit the gym the next day. There you go. That's the fastest way to get a six-pack. Some people say you can't gain strength on a calorie deficit. It's only good for fat loss. Thoughts? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You can gain muscle, you can gain strength in a calorie deficit. It's harder, but it's doable. If your sleep is good, your protein's high, you're also training with high intensity in the gym, you're focusing on progressive overload, you can absolutely gain strength while you're in a calorie deficit. And it's going to be good. Like, the more strength you can gain, the more strength you can maintain while you're cutting. That is exactly what you do when you're in the skinny fat stage. That's what I've done. And that's the best fix to do, because you're losing fat and you're building muscle in the same time when you're getting stronger and in the deficit. I need more help with my bicep. Hey, appreciate the gifts. Let's go for the teeny deeny. Let's go. I need help with my bicep is longer than the other. Well, that is going to come down to genetics partly, but also if you're doing a single arm exercise, single arm bicep exercise, you can target your left side more. Or so I would start with your weaker side. If one side of your biceps weaker than the other, start with the weaker side. On live here in Florida. Hey, Bren. What's going on, David? Thanks for joining the YouTube. Anybody who's interested, stop by the YouTube. Link in bio. It's right here. And David, if you're interested in a free training, really explaining how to build your dream physique, check that out. Check that out. But this is what I've built so far. The full on training split that works for 5 days a week, because 5 days a week, it's a great balance while having, multiple different rest days and still being able to hit PRs. That's the best thing you need to do. Hit PRs. That should always be the goal. If you're bulking, hit PRs. You can never stop hitting PRs. So yeah, if you're struggling to put on size, you're stuck in the skinny fat stage, you got to be weightlifting. If you're just doing cardio, you're going to be spinning your wheels. You're going to be stuck, not actually building real muscle mass, and you'll still end up in the skinny fat stage if you're not, weight training and prioritizing that and building more muscle. And you can't just train randomly either. A lot of people, they go into the gym but they don't have a plan. They just go up to a machine and just start lifting, and they wonder why they haven't made progress, and it's because they're just going through these different machines. They're not tracking their weight. They're not tracking their strength, and that's why they're stuck. But yeah, does anybody here feel like they've been consistent but not seeing results? Feel like they're stuck in the same spot? Let me know. Let me know right now if you have been stuck in the same spot, not seeing the results. If you're stuck in a plateau, if it's a strength plateau, drop it down in the chat. If you're not like getting the results you're looking for, maybe you've been in the same spot for a little while. Nick, you've been in a little bit of a strength plateau. It happens. Are you cutting or bulking right now, Nick? Because the way I've done it is have multiple days for each muscle group. And I've always been focusing on giving enough rest time. But ideally, it's about the sleep. I've noticed that when I'm the strongest, it's because I got a good night of sleep. You're cutting right now, and your strength has hit a plateau. What's been the biggest challenge about cutting? Has it been the diet? Like sticking to your diet, or has it been trying to lift more, or at least maintain your strength? Because when you're cutting, if you're losing a shit ton of strength, that's a sign you're going to be losing muscle. But if you're maintaining your strength, at least you'll be good. You just don't want to be getting weaker, ideally. Not so much strength, it's about the lower belly fat. I got you. Can't seem to get the last two. The last two abs are the hardest ones to pop out, I can't lie. Right now in Seattle, it is 7 p.m. But yeah, so if you want to get rid of the last two abs, it's going to come down to your nutrition. So I don't know how many calories you're eating, but Nick, if you're not already, you probably have done this before, but Go to tdecalculator.com. You can put in your weight, your height, your activity level. And then that'll give you a calorie recommendation. The best way to get the, reveal the last lower bit of abs is dialing in your nutrition, making sure you're staying in a calorie deficit. You're not overeating any foods. Cutting is too expensive, bro. My clothes are done for. What do you mean it's too expensive? It's cheaper. Cutting is cheaper because you spend less money on food. You might have to buy new clothes though when you get absolutely shredded. That is true. But would you rather be fat with baggy clothes or would you rather be fat with tight clothes or shredded with baggy clothes? I'd rather be shredded. Bro, if you get shredded, you don't even need clothes. You don't even need a shirt. There you go. That's the method. 1,600 calories, 10K steps. That's solid. 1,600 seems a bit low though. Appreciate the follow, Nick. How tall? Yeah, how tall are you and what's your height, Nick? I'll recommend it for you, Dom. Let's see. You're 170. 5'10". 5'10", 170. All right. 5'10", 170. And what's your goal, Dom? Are you trying to get leaner for the summer or go through bulk and gain more muscle? Because Dom, what it says is about 2,600 calories. That would be to maintain your weight. Okay, so that means if you want to get leaner, then you'll probably want to eat about 2,300 to 2,100 calories, somewhere around there. And I would weigh yourself, and I would make sure you lose about a pound or two per week. Now, Nick, you're 6'1", 172. Damn, bro, you're tall. I don't think you should be needing to eat that little, because what it sounds like that your metabolism has slowed down. If you're stuck and you're not losing weight, though the fat isn't going down, sounds like your metabolism is slowing down, and for that you'd want to give yourself a refeed or a diet break. Break out of the plateau so you can lose weight while eating more food, eating more carbs. Reverse that slowly, add back in your carbs, and I would go to like 2,100 calories. I would be at that, and I would focus on strength, building up more muscle, increasing your basal metabolic rate so you can eat more food and lose more fat. Okay. What's your goal, CLS? What's your goal, Ruby? You ate 500 carbs. Wait, what did you say? You were 169 yesterday, tomorrow, but I had a refeed with 5,200 calories. Holy shit. That's a crazy refeed. 25K steps and an incline treadmill. Holy. Okay, so it sounds like you overdone it. Sounds like the refeed was a little too high. Yeah, that makes sense. I would not go that high. When you're doing a refeed, you really want to go to like maintenance calories. So for you, that would probably be more like 2,600. I would go to that amount. 5,000 is a crazy jump. Holy shit. 509 muscle. Wait, what do you mean, CLS? Are you saying you're 5'9"? What does that number mean? I'm not sure if I want to be leaner, I guess. I don't think I can go lower. Interesting. What do you mean by that? Are you saying you want to get leaner? I don't know about that. I don't know if you can say the cardio put you at maintenance. 25K steps, calorie burned. I don't know if it burns that many calories. Like, you're talking about burning 2,000 calories or so to put you at the maintenance. I mean, let's see. If you were like, it could have burned about like 1,000 calories. Walking 25K steps could probably burn about 1,000. I walk 4 hours a day. Is that good for fat loss? Absolutely, that is amazing. But you can do all the cardio in the world if you're not tracking your food, eating in a deficit. You're not going to get the results. The nutrition is such a big aspect. You can't out train a bad diet. So the way to get really lean is from the nutrition. Okay. You're saying you only put on 2 pounds and it felt like great waking up didn't feel like you're trying to look better. 15-minute intervals, 15 incline, 3 speed after each one meal. Holy shit, bro, that's insane. That's ridiculous. Wait, so you felt better. What calories are you going back down? So you did 5,000. Are you gonna go back down to 1,600? That seems a bit too low. Because if you felt better with that many calories, makes sense. You're going to be burning more calories with more energy, with more carbohydrates. So that's why you don't want to drop your calories down too low, because if you lose the muscle mass, you lose your energy, your NEAT is going to go down. You're not going to be having as much, you're not going to be walking as much, burning as much. So ideally, it's about finding that calorie deficit where you're not starving yourself, but you're also not overeating either. So you're on the perfect amount where you can gain muscle while losing fat. I box for 3 hours a day, better than running or walking for a long period of time. Holy shit. 3 hours a day is a long time. Better than running? I would say so. Because here's the thing. Now, 3 hours is it would be better if it was a little shorter for gaining muscle. But 3 hours of high intensity exercise. Here's the thing about high intensity exercise. It's pretty intense on your body, but it will increase your testosterone. Jogging doesn't really increase your testosterone. It raises your cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So jogging, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan because I've noticed that it kills my gains. Walking is going to be better. If you can walk for 3 hours a day, that's the best thing to do because it's so low impact. You can recover from it. You can build muscle. You can walk, for a long time. It's not going to really kill your gains. Running and boxing, if you're not careful, could probably kill your gains a little bit. Probably eat 1,600 calories food today and then another 700. Wait, so Nick, how many calories total are you eating at the end of the day? Did you post exercise for stomach fat? Here's the thing, Ruby. It's not real. It's not real. It comes down to that. Yeah. Here, there's no exercise that's gonna burn your belly fat. There's not like one single fat burning belly workout exercise. If you want to burn your belly fat from exercise, cardio, like zone 2 cardio, walking on the treadmill, walking outside. That is going to be the way to burn your belly fat. But I wouldn't spend your time doing like a lot of people say like get a 6-pack in 5 minutes. Do this 100 ab crunches. If you do 100 ab crunches, the crunches will burn. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can't just like crunch your way out of the belly fat, sadly. So I would focus on weight training for one, and then walking and cardio. What should I do for my diet? I only got avocados, tortillas, and sausage. You're very limited. Interesting. Well, avocados are great. Sausages might be high in fat. Everything, okay. Why are you so limited? Because I would say, as long as you can hit your protein goal, which is going to be about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, that's going to be ideal. And of course you want carbs, 45% normally carbs, the rest fats. You're a starter. I really like ground beef and Greek yogurt. But Ruby, what are you confused about? Today I say 2,300, but most of the time just fruit with only just one real meal of egg whites and chicken. Okay, 23 most of the time. That is more ideal. Yeah, for your height, Nick, it's recommending about 2,400 to 2,100 calories. So that is gonna be more ideal with only just one real meal. Wait, so the rest is fruit, and you only have one meal with protein? Interesting. Interesting. Well, hey, if that one meal has enough protein for you, what you said you were about 170? So if you can get 170 grams of protein in that one meal, you're good. Ah, because you're at the beach. Okay, got you. That makes sense. Your mom says, just eat eggs. Tell her that you're trying to get jacked and improve yourself. If your mom doesn't want to support you improving your health, she's cooked. But if you explain that you're on a fitness journey, you're trying to build more muscle, improve your health, your longevity, because weightlifting increases your longevity. Who's gonna say no to that? If you tell your mom you want to live longer, who's gonna say no to that? That's the best way to live longer. It's through weightlifting. Best free app for tracking food. MyFitnessPal, hands down. Yep. Uh, you can scan food with a barcode. There's a free feature. You can you can save a meal. Yeah, MyFitnessPal is top tier. So are you saying upping my calories from 16? I would. I would. I say eating more. This is what exactly I've done with one of my clients. He came to me eating 800 calories a day because he thought that you had to burn more calories through exercise to eat. So he was burning 1,000 calories through exercise and then only eating 800 because he thought you had to burn more calories than you eat. And it doesn't work like that because you got to understand that there's your base metabolic rate. You burn calories from sitting down. You burn calories from breathing and resting. So that's why it's better to eat more to not starve yourself to build more muscle while you're losing fat. And if any of you guys want a full guide on this, on nutrition, on the best foods to eat, shoot me down on Instagram. I can send you my full nutrition guide. 24, 6 feet, 200 pounds. What should my calorie intake be? Drizzy, what's your goal? You're 200 pounds. Let's see. If I had to guess, you're probably looking to lean down. Let's say you're somewhat active. That means you probably want to have about 2,500 to 2,400 calories, somewhere around there. Or 2,500 to 2,300 calories. That's what I would do. What does too low of a calorie intake do to your body? So the main thing it's going to do, it's going to slow down your metabolism. Sometimes when your calories, it's going to screw up your hormones too, your testosterone. Oh my goodness. You're going to feel very fatigued, tired. You might get brain fog if your calories are too low. And it's going to be very, very difficult to lose muscle. You'll lose weight, but you'll lose fat and muscle. So the best way to do it is be in a slight calorie deficit where you're losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week. If you lose more than, it all depends. Okay, somebody who's more obese, they can drop body fat really fast. And if you're sleeping good, you're managing that, you do a mini cut. But when you're most people don't want to do a mini cut. They're stuck in the skinny fat stage, and then you just need to really just do a slight deficit. Do that for 3 months. Get to 10, 12% body fat, and then lean bulk, and you're perfect. So if you cook yourself, nah, you haven't. Well, if you're losing your gains, you're cooking yourself. It's not worth it. You said you're 16. Okay, a lot of you guys are 16. That's funny. Dracy is 24, so it doesn't matter. The older you are, the slower your metabolism your metabolism will slow down, but the best way to fix your metabolism is building more muscle and weight training. And then of course, you know, going on walks and things like that. Do you believe in the aggressive cut? I'm not really a fan. I'm not really a fan of the aggressive cut because you know it's possible to lose your gains. If you have great sleep and you're recovering properly, you're not losing your strength. It could work, but most people just lose their gains. I feel like when you do an aggressive cut, I haven't noticed any muscle loss recently. Interesting. Well, I still feel like it'd be easier for you to lose weight with higher calories because you would have a higher need. Your metabolism would be higher, and you could do that. You could do a week where you're like on maintenance calories, or and then go down to like this slight deficit here, about 2100, and you're chilling. How many times a cardio week should I do? I mean, it all really depends. I would do cardio every day. I would try and get 10K steps. It's up to you. Do you want to do cardio for the health aspect or do you want to do cardio for the fat burning aspect or both? Because you could lose fat without doing any cardio and just do it from your nutrition and walking and you're good. But if you want to do cardio to be more athletic, have better cardiovascular endurance, then I would do it every day. Every day for like 15 minutes. Start with that and maybe increase it over time if you want to lose even more fat. Passive aggressive cardio. What do you mean by that? What's passive aggressive cardio? Along with a lat pull down 180 for 10, 160 for only 8. That's solid. Wait, how much are you benching? Oh wait, you say you went from 185. Okay, so the bench press did drop down a little bit. Makes sense. Makes sense. That's why everyone recommends 1600 calories. We want to increase that bench press. That's the main goal. If you can increase your bench press, actually 185 is pretty for 8 is pretty good. But the goal should be like repping out 225 on bench. If you're like, you know, you're you get to repping out 225 on bench, you're gonna be looking a lot more jacked for sure. You're gonna be building a lot more muscle for sure. If you can increase the strength while losing the body fat. Parking farther, yep. That's ideal. It's time to start my enter the villain arc. Absolutely. Anybody who is looking to have a tailored plan, more guidance, you know, with a step-by-step blueprint and accountability, check out the link in my bio for the fitness coaching application. But only if you're serious. I'm taking on more people, and we've got 5 spots left. So if that's you, you want the extra help, the guaranteed results, check it out. Or if you got a question about anything nutrition related, you want a guide, DM me on Instagram, Brandenburg Tag. Anything on Instagram, I respond to all my DMs. If you shoot me DM, I'll message you right after this live. But I appreciate you guys sticking and joining. I'm gonna end it here though. Peace, chat. Let's go. And I'm